ready to sit around and play with my friends and do something fun for myself, and then your dog goes running outside, woo, jumps in a mud puddle, gets really dirty, and you don't want to bring that dog in. So then what happens is you have to give a bath right then and there when you weren't expecting it. I know, that happens. Let's see what else is in here. What else is in my bathroom? Who is that for? Cat. Yeah, so we just have some cat food, and we thought we'd throw a few cat things in just to make sure, because some people might be cat lovers. So there's a little food. Oh, thank goodness, I was eating out of a cup. Right, that can be the food bowl, that can be for either a dog or cat. And so when you're feeding your animal, you know, most people know that they always give their dog food, maybe a little bit in the morning, or their cat a little bit in the morning, a little bit at night. But what are our pets? All kinds of pets need access to all day long. Megan.
Food and water.
Yep, and they probably don't always need food all day. So for most pets, they'll have a scheduled eating time. Sometimes cats kind of browse around and eat, but most pets have a scheduled eating time. But you always want to make sure that your pet has access to fresh water all day long, all night, whenever they get thirsty. So we have a bowl for them. Oh, that's an easy one. So you use that to do what? Brush. How often do you need to brush your dog? Jasmine.
About twice a day, maybe.
Okay. I mean, I think that's an interesting answer that you say that, because I think the answer is it depends. So when you kind of look at our dogs in the back, a dog like Ted or a dog like Charm that has a shorter coat, you know, they could probably go every couple of days with a nice little brush and maybe with a grooming mitt. But then you get a furry dog like Lucy, or like Clifford, or like Darcy, who's back there with a long coat. It's usually an everyday and sometimes twice a day process that we brush our dogs. And the same with the bath. As soon as you get done brushing the dog and then they go outside and they roll around in the grass and they pick up little stickers, you're brushing them right all over again, right? So you can spend a lot of time brushing your dog. It's just
Dirty leaves and stuff that fall off the trees.
Yep, so they can come in. And some of them just like to be brushed because it feels good. Very good, thank you. What's next? This one is important. You're absolutely right. This might be hard to see, but it says on here, Advantage Multi for Dogs. What do you think that is? You have your hand up first.
It's medicine for fleas and sometimes heartworm.
Right, it's medicine and it's sometimes it's combined. It's for fleas, ticks, and then sometimes heartworm. And one of the biggest things about medicines like this is they're what we call preventative medicine. Raise your hand and tell me what you know preventative means. What does it mean, Gavin? Preventative medicine.
For like sick dogs or anything.
Well, it's for sick dogs, but it's to prevent them or keep them from getting sick in the first place. So something like Advantage, and it says on there, it's for different types of worms, for heartworm, and sometimes it'll protect against fleas and ticks. And heartworm, and I'm glad you asked, heartworm is a disease from worms that is primarily, cats can sometimes get it, but it's mostly dogs that get it. And when they get heartworms, it's a parasite or a worm that kind of gets in their system, and it can make them very, very, very sick. And if not treated, they can eventually die from it. But if they do get it, they will get very, very sick, and it takes them probably about a month or so to recover. It's a lot of treatment for your animal and stressful for your animal, and it's also expensive. So when we have something like this, we call it a preventative medication, because by just giving your dog one of these little pills one time a month, they really taste good, and they can eat them and enjoy them, and it's not like a bad thing to take them. They like the medicine. Huh? You can either put it in their food, or most dogs like it as a treat. They think it's a little yummy treat. And it will prevent them from getting that disease or from getting sick. So as a pet owner, you want to be responsible and say, you know what, I know that to prevent this disease in my dog, all I have to do is buy this medicine and make sure I give it to my dog or cat one time a month. If you kind of forget about that, you put your dog. Very good. What else is in here? Oh my goodness, that is. What's that? Oh, somebody new. Jonathan, what's that? Little tool to clip the dog's nails. And cats. They can get really long. So that's one of the important things of grooming our pets is we gotta get our nails done. Now sometimes dogs and cats don't like getting their nails clipped, so you really have to get your pet used to that. You have to get them used to the fact that you're going to use this tool to trim their nails. So, you know, you practice with them, and maybe you show them the clippers and give them a treat so that they get used to seeing it, get used to that touching them, and then you have to get practice at doing it so you don't hurt your dog or cat. And if you're doing that and your dog just says, I don't like this at all, and just pitches a fit, the easiest thing to do if you don't want to do it yourself is take them to the groomer and have a professional do it for you. So you can do that. But that's part of grooming and taking care of our pets. What else is that? Oh. I know. What is that? It's a shot. So we kind of talked about shots. How often do our dog and cat friends need to go get shots?
Once a year.
Once a year, that's right.
Just like humans.
Just like humans, you have to go to the vet. They need to go to the vet once a year, get their annual checkup, get their shots, get their vaccines, and then sometimes they have to go in the middle, but they do need to go to the doctor just like humans do. So very good. And when they're sick, and so we want to make sure they don't get sick, so we take them every year. Yay! Treats. What do you use treats for besides being nice? What do you use treats for besides just being nice to your dog?
Yesterday I got that for my dog.
You did? So what do you use treats for besides just saying, hey, I like you and I'm going to give you something nice? What do you use it for?
When they're being a good dog.
When they're being a good dog. Who else knows what you would use it for, right?
As a reward.
As a reward, absolutely. What else? Michelle. If he does tricks, and you're getting really close on it. We use dog treats to train our dogs a lot of times. So we're
like if you wanted to run on a treadmill, it doesn't work.
if you wanted to run on a treadmill.
It doesn't work sometimes with
So we use treats to train our dogs because one of the biggest things about dogs at the shelter, I think we talked about this the first week, by raising your hand, what is the reason that dogs end up at the shelter?
Nobody wants them.
Nobody, and why? Why would they want to give them up? Ashley.
Because they have to move and their dogs can't go to the house.
Yeah, and as it comes to treats and training, why would somebody think about treats and training your dog? And when you train your dog, you have a well-behaved dog. If you don't train your dog, you have a dog that misbehaves. Why would somebody take a dog to the shelter?
So they can be abandoned and they know when it comes, stuff.
Well, that's what you want them to do.
And they can get treats.
They could get treats. Michelle.
Maybe their family had a baby and it was just too much work.
Yeah. So sometimes when a dog, when people bring dogs to the shelter, a common thing that they say is they say, dog is too much work. And what they mean by that is part of it is time, but a lot of times the dog or the pet is kind of out of control, which means it doesn't behave